Welcome to P&B Sports Show, where the passion is high, the emotions are real, and the beautiful game takes center stage. I'm Abel Sunday. The stage is set. There is absolutely no room for mistakes as the WAFCON semifinals bring us a mouth-watering showdown between Morocco and Cameroon. Two determined sides and one precious ticket to the finals. Morocco will be counting on home support and their tournament experience, while Cameroon come into this battle with ambition, hunger, and the belief that they can upset the host and reach the grand finale. Can Morocco ride the wave of home advantage and book their place in the final, or will indomitable Lioness row their way into the championship match? To break down the tactics, the key players, the strengths, the weaknesses, and what could ultimately decide this massive semi-finals, joining me from Port Harcourt is the ever insightful Jackson Caleb. So grab your teacup because P&B Sport start now. No gigment, no distraction, just pure unfiltered sport action.
Diogo Dalot, he pulls the ball then. That is outstanding!
Make the P&B Sports Show part of your weekday routine.
Philogene in the penalty area, twisting and turning. He tries to flick it towards goal.
Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Make the P&B Sports Show part of your weekday routine.
Into Osimhen.
30 minutes of breaking headlines, in-depth analysis, match preview, one explosive hour of fearless opinion, heated debate, and non-stop football conversation. Weekdays at 9 a.m., Saturdays at 1 p.m. Stay ahead of the game.
Match analysis and expert analysis from the world of sport.
Welcome back. It's the P&B Sports Show, reaching live from the nation's capital, and of course we. Should I say that I'm supposed to be joined by, I don't know if it's on now, Jackson Caleb, all the way from Port Harcourt, the insightful Jackson Caleb. Jackson, are you there with me now?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Sunday, and it feels good to be back on the P&B Sports Show.
Yeah, welcome back. You know, yesterday we were talking about our darling Super Falcons and how it was a disappointing night for us on Sunday, how the indomitable Lioness of Cameroon, how to row their way into the semi-finals and leave us, in fact, looking for a spot again in that same route. The Super Eagles, I beg your pardon, followed last time and unfortunately DR Congo had to push shot out to qualify for the World Cup. Now we're taking same route with the female team. I don't know if this is the cause. I'm sorry to say that, but it's painful that we will be following through this route. If you look at it very, very well, I saw statistics yesterday. If you see under 20 World Cup, none, we're not going. Male, we didn't go. Female now out. So you could imagine if you just see X counting. But again, Eru will always say that it's the Super Falcons that also give us a sucker after all this shenanigan of the male. Sorry to use that word again. But again, now we'll see the Super Falcons already are bound down. It seems that the god of football in Africa is not smiling at us anymore.
Well, like I said that if there is anything that is capable of causing us to stop this Cameroon team, that they have the ability to cause us a shocking upset. And immediately they scored first. I knew that there was going to be a big problem in this match. Like I told someone, I was just praying that we carry the team to extra time. That was just my own, because I believe if we equalize, it not boils down to these players. You know, stemming from the coach and the board. What ideas do they have? What systems do we play? Remember that Ero even said on the show one time that Justin Edu is not really a tactician. He's one of those coaches that endow the individual players freedom to play. It is not a bad thing to give your players, mostly your senior players, the freedom they need to play. But however, when things need a mix-up, that is when you now need to step up and say, okay, how do we do this? Permit me to digress. Even in basketball, for a star player to perform, there are certain tactics that you need to bring into the game, or even you need to even devise certain tactics to create freedom for these players to play. And when you see that the structural level of an opposition is breaking down your players, how can you now emerge with another statement? Like yesterday, one of the things I was curious about was the fact that subbed Babajide off too early. In as much as we needed the goal, except if she was injured, but she was definitely wasn't injured. I didn't have a problem with taking her the left back and then substituting the left back. If at all, changing us to a 3-4-3 because then only then can we now perform. And if you look at the midfield, what they did in the beginning, it wasn't easy coming out of those things. But then again, remember, I always said that one of our problems has been this clear-cut creation of chances. Since the beginning of this AFCON, we struggled sometimes to create chances, and those things boil down to affect how we play. But I will not deny the fact that Cameroon have been so surpassing from the group stage. They have been a team to watch, especially when it comes to how they break down other teams' attack and then hold their own force at their defensive end. Remember, this is one of the teams that have stood their ground in especially how they play. But nevertheless, I think there is still hope for our darling Super Falcons to go through the other round.
Yeah, there's still hope for them to go through the other round. But I think after the Zambia game or the Egypt game, I was watching an interview from Francisca Odega. She was saying that she has never been in such situation before, being panic that she playing so far, she has been in that circle for a very long time. She playing in the Super Falcons that they've never this pressure. She has never had this kind of pressure. That tells you that the football, the female. But going forward and looking at what we're going to see this again, if you go to head, and that is why we're saying that okay, no matter what, I think the Super Eagles might also do it against Morocco because we've met Morocco 12 times, we won 9 times. I think we drew 3 or so. But looking at it, unfortunately, there will always be a day that is going to happen, and it has happened. But let's go to the pre-match analysis for Morocco versus Cameroon. But with Morocco have home advantage and backing of the fans, how much of a factor could that be in the semi-finals of this magnitude? Do you think Morocco have edge over the Lioness of Cameroon?
Home advantage is something that you can never play down on, in as much as sports. I would not really say football, in as much as sports is concerned. Look at the game we just watched, the playoffs, Knicks versus Spurs. One of the best wins that Spurs had in that playoff was when they were at home. They even did a 13-point comeback because they were at home. The magnitude of the crowd support again gave them the cheering that they needed. Now imagine a game of football where you are playing at your home stadium. It definitely gives you that encouragement you need. Like I said, it blocks out the ears of the oppositions from hearing themselves how they play. Even the psychological factor, it begins to pump a bit of fear in their heart because the noise already is too much, as if the stadium wants to fall on them. But now, leaving the noise, leaving the home advantage, the playing style of this Moroccan team is something also beautiful to watch. Look at their game against South Africa and look at the beautiful goal that was scored. I was so amazed by it because it takes only a technical player to score such goals. And then again, you see the creativity coming into the pitch. Like when I watched the game, I could see the switches of 1-2 between the fullback and the winger, the inverting and the overlapping. So you can begin to identify some tricky patterns of play within this Moroccan team, and you can say, okay, this is a side that actually has some things that they want to play or an identity they want to come up with. And they know that each player is different. Like with I've forgotten the lady that scored, but she didn't play the game before this South African game. And coming into the game, they gave her different types of crosses than they would in the previous game. Because I watched the previous Moroccan game, and that was not the kind of crosses that I saw. So that now tells you that, okay, I think begin to have in mind what each player up front, the type of passes they want, and how they should be able to deliver those type of incisive passes. But coming down to this indomitable lioness of Cameroon, you cannot definitely write them down at this stage. We've seen how far they have come, how they have fought the toughest of the toughest, including our own Super Falcons, and scaling through on the 1-0 hurdle. winning the 1-0 strong of a team they are. And going forward, I think this is going to be the biggest test of Morocco because this is another thing that is very good structurally, and they have a sound coach who has some things that she brings into the game. However, like we said before, the Moroccans home advantage and the players level. I think if we should go head to head, we have more recognizable players that we can pick from Morocco and say, okay, if these ones cannot do it, the others can come off and do it. But it's the game that we all want to watch. And to be sentimental at this point, I think I'll be rooting for Cameroon, in as much as they are qualified for the World Cup. I will allow them to shock the hosters of this WAFCON.
Why you don't want Morocco to win? But like you rightly mentioned, beating the defending champion, not only defending champion, 10-time champion of this same tournament, off Nigeria off the equation, I think they can take off anybody. My own opinion, though, beating Nigeria, I think you can beat anybody in this tournament, and that is why I'm also looking at a close look at the Malawi team, because definitely if they can beat Nigeria 3-2, I think they can beat anybody. There's nobody that they cannot beat in that the remaining four, the top four that is left, or rather top three that is left. But looking at the Morocco, where do you see the biggest battle on the pitch? Midfield, the wings, or central defense? But because if you look at it, if you are talking about physicality, the Moroccans have it. You saw what they did to our girls. They were so physical. Their physical presence was, in fact, shows a lot in that quarterfinal encounter. But going to Morocco, playing Morocco, and I see, where do you think that battle is going to win? And of course, they should be careful, of course, because I know there are going to be plenty of cards in this semi-finals encounter.
First of all, it's already said that Morocco is going to miss this match. She's been one of their best, our highly experienced players. I think she's 27. The last time she played the AFCON, she was 25. Coming in now, she's 27. But she hasn't missed a single match since the beginning. But due to her, I will not call it recklessness, her forgetfulness rather, she picked up a card and in Ngok from the Cameroonian midfield, their number 4, and Toku. How they play this type of Patrick Vieira and Steven G. But when I think the battle of this match is more the central defense of this Morocco central defense of Cameroon against the attack of Morocco, because so far so good, this Moroccan side have a highly experienced and versatile attack. So if you think you can beat them to the midfield, they are definitely going to find a way and try and get that ball into that final case. And that's where I feel the Morocco should put more eyes on. Because if you can't watch out there, you are definitely going to lose out on the Moroccan side, who can definitely get it from outside the box, who can get it from inside the box, and who can get it through set pieces. Remember, set pieces is a very important key in this game. And if you lose out on maybe outside the box shots or even inside the box chances, set pieces might also be your savior. And then again, that's what I think that the Moroccans might be willing to rely on. So I think the battle might be between the center backs of the Cameroonian defense and the attack of the Moroccans.
Okay, but looking at I think the Moroccans are expected to take the initiative. Should Cameroon sit back and counter? Do you understand? Or should they take the game to the host from the start? But looking at the Moroccans, I think, the Cameroonians, I think they are going to play a very low block, because even if you see against Nigeria, they don't want to come out. They were all playing very low block, and in when they get that ball, of course, now, when people that are already playing low block from the start, from when they get that goal, there's no way they are going to even come out. Even if you left for their coach to come and sit on that post, their coach will go there. But looking at it, do you think if they play low block against the very experienced side, as you rightly said, do you think it's going to backfire on the Moroccans? I'm talking about the indomitable lioness of Cameroon. Sorry.
I think it's going to backfire against them because this Moroccan team is not a team that you should sit back throughout the full game. If you come out to sit throughout a full 90, this side is definitely going to press you. They're going to come out with a lot of pressure. This side, one thing that makes them different is that each player has technique. They're not just good on the ball. They can shoot from dead balls. They might just give them a ball and pick their man and take a shot. Something you are not expecting. So if you decide to mount yourself on pressure upon pressure upon pressure, definitely at some point, one of them is going to get in. And the moment they score you first, you now have a duty to retaliate. So if you can't retaliate or you decide to come out and retaliate and they now score you another one upon attempting to retaliate, then you are defeated. But however, like we rightly said, I don't think Cameroon is going to totally sit back throughout this game. The reason why I say so is that if you look at the game against Nigeria, even with their sitting back, they were looking for those counter transitions. So then again, knowing that this Morocco side is a side that has more than 6 players on the ball, they might be willing to do that with an attempt to transitions. However, set pieces might also come to play for the Cameroonian side because if they get the ball, they might want to hold on to the ball for at least good number of seconds or minutes, win fouls so that they can progress. Or if at the beginning of the match, let's assume for the first 10 minutes, they can get to come out and press, man to man for the first 10 minutes. And if they observe, okay, this Moroccan side have too much technicality on them, then they withdraw. Because then again, even going to sit back is a tactic of football. If it can get you to the final round or it takes you to penalties, then why not? I will encourage them that if they are sitting back can take them through to the semi-finals, then to the finals, then definitely they can go ahead. But it's going to cost them a lot. From my own view, this Moroccan side will mount a lot of pressure on them.
All right, going into this game, arguably, I think the goalkeeper of the Cameroonians, she won the woman of the match against Nigeria for the quarterfinal counter. But going into this game, I think she's in fine form. She made 9 good saves against Nigeria last time out. And going into this game, I think she's going to make a very huge difference in this encounter. My own opinion, though, but I want to get yours. Then also, if you go down to the goalkeeper of the Atlas Lioness of Morocco, also their goalkeeper experience. This is their 3rd straight WAFCON. If you recall, 2022, she was there against South Africa. She was there. 2024 against Nigeria, she was also there. And now she's here. She's semi-final, just one game away to get to the final. 3 consecutive finals. With those experiences, I think both keepers might make a difference in this encounter. But I want to get your own opinion on that, though.
Okay, from my own end, I think the keepers might be able to, but I think it's more of the Cameroon keeper, more of the indomitable lioness of Cameroon, because I think the Moroccan side might be looking to mount more pressure on her. But the Moroccan keeper has also stood up where it matters the most, because watching the game against South Africa, she made vital things because South Africa actually had good chances at getting an equalizer even before the second goal came in. But she stood up and made good saves. Even after the South African started the comeback with 2-1, she also had good saves to keep Morocco in that game. But I think the defense of Morocco, to an extent, will also be very vigilant and try their best to, try and work with the goalies to relieve her of more pressure. And the Cameroonian on the other side, I think the keeper would be expecting to deliver what she did against our Super Falcons. So I think it will be more of the indomitable lionesses of Cameroon to make more of the statement. Nevertheless, we would still be expecting the Moroccan keeper to do justice to her claims as an experienced goalie in this match.
Okay, Jackson, finally, if you had to put your money on the team right now, Morocco or Cameroon, who are you backing to reach the WAFCON finals and why? Quickly, in 1 minute.
If I had to put my money, I think I'll put my money on the Cameroonian team.
I think you are being sentimental now. You are being sentimental.
This is why I said so. In as much as there is a bit of sentiment in it, I personally enjoy watching teams that do not have too much stars, play team football. When you look at this Cameroonian side now, I started knowing them from this World Cup. Like I just mentioned Toko for you, and I mentioned the other midfielder for you. I didn't know them personally where they play for. But similarly watching them and with time, how they play, I said, okay, you know what, this is a thing that I would love for them to, even if they don't make it through, at least I would love for them to go to the finals and then get that experience. And then again, they are qualified for the World Cup. this is a statement on their head.
Mm.
They just qualified for the World Cup in Brazil. So that again shows you a team who is ready to compete. So I think that they will have the ability to also hold their end. So I think I more preferably go with the Cameroonians